Hey everyone, Sketch Card Hive here, and today I have a very special treat. It's part of a new segment called Marvel Set Spotlight. Kind of like from those books back in the day when we were in like elementary school. Well, if you're around my age, where you had those like character spotlight kind of moments for different characters. This is for sets. And instead of me talking about it, because I don't know everything, and well, it's not possible for me to really understand these. But what I do have are very nice friends of mine, very good people that I trust completely to bring on this show to talk about these sets with incredible knowledge, incredible depth, and insight for you when collecting this set. And today, of course, we're going to be looking at Fleer Ultra Spiderman 2017. This set currently is being picked up left and right. It's very important to a lot of people, and it's being discovered by many new collectors as well. So today, without further ado, we got Marvel.Silk.Collector coming onto the channel to talk Fleer Ultra Spider-Man.
Well,
Welcome.
I don't know how to follow that up with that intro. Thank you.
It's true, man. You are a gem and a rock star, man. You have taught me so much about this set. You taught me about a lot of different sets as well. So he will be a reoccurring guest, just so you know. I could not be doing this hobby without you, brother. So, quick little introduction. Tell the audience, tell the people what they want to know. Tell them who you are and where they can find you and all that kind of good stuff.
All right. So I guess I know the majority of like the people in the Facebook groups and on Instagram and everything, but you guys can find me on Facebook, Jonathan Dunn, or Instagram, Marvel.Silk.Collector. I'm that crazy guy that just goes ahead and keeps buying the same card over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's just kind of what happens when you collect a newer character. You run out of stuff really quickly before you run out of money, and you're just like, hey, I'll go for round 2. Why not?
It's sitting there at that point, right? And that's what's happening to a lot of character collectors. And Jonathan here, well, we first met. If you want to tell everybody kind of like the story how we first got together on this.
All right. So the way I met Norrin over here was I was actually a member of Blowout Forums. It's kind of like the big thing, before everyone got into Facebook and Instagram. And this dude just went and posted a random thread looking for the most like obscure, like backwater character, like in that set. As many of you know, he really likes Spot. And he was looking for the rainbow foil and I think some of the other parallels to try and, do the full rainbow. And for some reason, I actually had that one. So, we did a little PM deal since, that is actually allowed on Blowout, not on Facebook, though, so don't try that.
Not on Facebook, so don't do that.
And he got me into the Facebook groups, and I think we didn't talk for a couple months, but then, I realized that, oh, shit, he was actually one of the people in, oh, sorry, language. He was one of those people in the Facebook group, and I was like, oh, my God, I know this guy.
And then we started talking ever since. We have a special crew we're part of as well. And yeah, I mean, we talk like almost every day now, which is crazy to think. There are like a very few group of people I talk to every day now, which is just insane how this hobby gets you for years. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I was looking for Spot, and I was very fortunate to meet Jonathan here, who got me kind of on my way to this amazing set. So coming back to the set, a little about John. As you know, he's a silk collector, but more importantly, he actually collects Korean Marvel characters. Is that right, John?
Yes, I do collect all of the Korean ones, including Amadeus Cho, which, it's not my favorite card to pick up, but got some Cho rainbows sitting in a box.
That's going to come full circle, man. That's going to come full circle on Cho. I'm telling you.
I mean, like, I'm just waiting for the day there's more than one Amadeus Cho collector.
That's going to be a fight, man. That's going to be bloody.
I will drop that guy so fast if his price goes up. Like, I don't even care.
I'll drop that guy so fast. Well, it's funny. There's another Spot collector, which is hilarious. I didn't even realize it. It was so random. I thought I would be alone on that guy, but like, there's another guy who collects Spot. So it's possible. It's very, very possible.
You're just fighting over sketch cards, though. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, he's got what, 4 nice plates, and then the rainbow web foil, and everything else is just like a base card.
And that's it. Yeah, it's pretty easy pickings. I mean, that's the best thing about being a character collector. I mean, unless you're collecting Spider-Man, like our poor friend is a collector of Spider-Man, and other people I know who collect big X-Men cards and all this other kind of stuff, it becomes a nightmare at that point. But if you're a character collector collecting a random secondary character that no one cares about, like my Dalmatian friend here, Spot, you know, it can be a lot of fun and not really torture. So this can actually be pretty great. I'm still missing 2 plates, by the way. Those are sitting in boxes somewhere or in a plate collection, I'm imagining. But so let's get into the set. Okay, so 2017 Fleer Ultra Spiderman set. Give us a little bit of a breakdown of this set, John.
Okay, so 2017 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man is an homage set based off of the 1995 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. You can see like a lot of, just correlations between the set when you look at it. They've got their base set, they've got the milestones, which they brought back in 2017, the legacy. A few things that, they did switch up on that though is the old set had like a Venom Flows subset in Carnage USA. They actually just completely got rid of the Venom Flows. They kept team ups, but the Carnage USA switched to Deadpool Across America. So it does kind of keep that same, sort of theme and everything, but it did change a bit. The old set did have parallels of like gold foil autos, kind of like, some of the Masterpieces sets do. It's actually one of the first ones that had the gold foil autos. I think that started in 1994.
I think with Marvel Masterpieces, I'm pretty sure it did. I might be wrong, but that's the earliest one I can remember off the top of my head.
And the 2017 set kind of like, took on that idea and like sort of upgraded it and did the gold web foil with actual hand signed autos and limited them to 49 copies of each.
49 copies of each. I mean, it's crazy to think those autos are that rare. The art on this set has always been, I mean, it's very quickly becoming, Fleer Ultra is becoming one of my favorite sets, even over Marvel Masterpieces in some way, just because I know that's a big claim. That's a big claim, but like, there's something really special about the last 2 Fleer Ultra sets. And I think the reason I'm putting it closer to Masterpieces in my mind, not that it is Masterpieces, Premiere, there's price point differences everywhere. But for me, Fleer Ultra art is so fun in the range, right? You got Simone Bianchi, you got Hildebrandt that did 3 cards, right? You got, oh gosh, just everybody else. You have Cacao,
Lago, Eric
yeah,
Wilkerson. You had like a bunch of the artists from the original set actually come back too, like Hildebrandt and Wilkerson, or not Wilkerson, Hildebrandt. Bob Larkin came back.
Larkin, that's right. Can't believe I forgot Larkin.
Honestly,
right?
like Larkin is my 100% favorite artist of all time. Like, there's no artist that, like, to me, can hold a candle to him. Like, just seeing his art as a kid was just like game changing for me.
It's iconic. It's an iconic piece, and there's sketch cards. There's sketch cards with Larkin on them that this Larkin has done, and they're probably some of the best sketch
Those don't look
cards.
like sketch cards to me. They don't look
No.
like hand-drawn figures. It literally looks like he used CGI, generated like some sort of 3D statue and printed it on the card. And it's just like, holy crap, why didn't I buy one of these when it was available?
It's insane because like JD saying, like, there's like such textures to the body and dimensionality that it feels like they are like action figures on there, but very, very, very high-end action figures. They're absolutely stunning.
Actually, on that, if I remember correctly, he said that he actually used action figures as his models to base the poses and everything off of. So
I should bring an example here. I don't have anything in my archive. Say again?
I think they were action figures or statues. I'm not sure which.
They might have been a mixture of both, because I remember when I saw them, I recognized them. I don't know if they were Bowens or not, but they looked hella familiar from what I'm remembering. But I mean, they look stunning.
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful, gorgeous stuff. And speaking about sketch cards from Fleer Ultra Spiderman, I think they're some of my favorite stock. Like,
let's go ahead and
yes,
put an example up for the people that don't know what the stock looks like.
Let's do it.
So Fleer Ultra Spiderman is actually my favorite stock as well. The reason that I like it so much is because the logo is all the way at the top, and the majority of people when they do sketches, they'll do like a 3/4 bust or something, and it usually goes to the bottom of the card. I absolutely hate bottom logos just because it really messes up like stuff like that. Same thing applied with the plexiglass sketch card. The logo is at the top. Ignore the fact that there's nothing on this one that's actually like a sketch card blank, but there we go. So sketch card pull rates in Fleer Ultra Spider-Man were pretty rare, actually. A lot of people, they're like, oh man, sketches are so rare nowadays. Like, there's no good product to get sketches. But, there are very few products where you'll get an actual sketch per box, mainly just Marvel Masterpieces and Premiere. Before that, I think one of the best ones to purchase for sketches was Flair, because they were 1 in 36. But Fleer Ultra Spider-Man's 180. So, with 144 packs a case, you might get 1 to 2 sketches per case, which is, about on par with like most of the recent things like Fleer Ultra X-Men.
And what they're planning on doing for the future with metal. You know what I mean? Spider-Man metal in the future is going to be 1 or 2 a case, and I think Beginnings is going to be 1 a case. So that's going to be the norm eventually.
And I think that's completely fine. Like, I think that, there's so many sketches saturating the market that anything that's not really high end just kind of sits for a while, and it was kind of a needed thing.
No, yeah, 100%. You need to do that with especially with sketch cards, especially with artists, especially with what they're being paid. The better quality, the better pay, I think is better for the collectors in the end.
All right, so to get back into some numbers, these plexiglass sketch cards, these are 1 in 1,100 packs, and with the print run of Fleer Ultra Spider-Man being, I think, 1,512.5 cases, that works out to there being 197 pack inserted plexi sketches, and that's it. So less than 200 of these things,
and some big artists were on these.
$40.
Yeah, and some big artists on these. A car is on here. Aaron Sode is on here, and Al Milgram. Did Al Milgram do some Pexi? I feel like he did.
I'm not sure. I don't know that off the top of his head, but 2 more you can add on there are Mitch Ballard and Achilles Pikanakis.
Oh, gosh. Like high-end artists too did stuff on these Pexis, and they were out for a while. I remember seeing a Prowler that I should have picked up, but I didn't, like an idiot. It was
it was $300, and it was by Me Like a Car.
I should have picked it up. Oh, you picked it up. No, you didn't pick it up.
I did
you
not.
Pick it up?
Like, I regret.
Don't lie to me. Look at me.
I mean, if I had it, I would have showed it off to you so fast and be like, "Ha, look what you're not getting."
Sucker.
Spider-Man, bye.
Jeez, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. No, beautiful pieces. There's some really gorgeous ones out there for sure. You can still see some on epack, by the way. So I think you can. So if we took a little journey there, just to take a little segment here, go ahead and share this screen to you guys. You can kind of see what's still in the marketplace for Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, at least what's there. So this is the base set, and you could still see the sketches on here. So you can go to inserts, find your insert that you're looking for here, team ups, and we'll talk about all these in a second. Royal foils, which we're going to be talking about, which is just insane. Sketches that are still up here.
To make this easier, do we just want to maybe pull up the checklist and just go down it so I can cover every insert without missing anything?
Yeah, rock star. Let's go down the checklist. I got it pulled up for us already.
I mean, I've got models and everything too, so
we got pure examples. So we're going to be able to really, really get into this set, which is going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here's the checklist. I already brought it up. Let's start from the beginning and roll our way down, huh?
All right. Okay, so let's start with the base and all of the base parallels. Okay, so obviously I didn't want to bust out my entire PC and do an entire base set and Webfoil set, blah blah blah. So I just pulled from what was easy. So you're going to be seeing an awful lot of silk things as examples for this. So apologies for that. And if you do end up liking my character, we're enemies.
Forever never friends.
All right, so on Fleer Ultra Spiderman, the entire like base set and like all of the subsets to the base are original art. That's the one thing that kind of like Upper Deck distinguishes or uses to distinguish premium versus basic set. Like if you have to commission all of the art in the set, it's going to cost a lot more, and premium.
Premium.
So Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, full art on everything, full base set, gorgeous ass cards.
Truly beautiful pieces.
Bags for that, but there are several parallels to this. You have your base, you have your silver foil, which is the exact same thing as the base, but it's on a shiny background. And then you have your rainbow foil, which is the third parallel. And this is the same, but it has kind of like a rainbow sheen to it. So these two are epack exclusives. It takes 10 base to make the silver, and then it takes 10 silvers to make the rainbow. So due to, like these being epack exclusives, it has to be on epack. Like redeem doesn't matter. It's kind of not a thing with combines. But it does make the parallels a little bit more rare. So the silvers, I can't even like begin to track the number of those. But with the rainbows, I don't have this written down, but off the top of my head, I would say there's probably only around 30 of each card max for the base set.
Yeah, and I think the thing to remember too is that characters that are, and not all of them have been claimed, so 30, 30 in theory, right? But a lot of them are not claimed. So characters who are less significant to collectors would have less rainbows available. Characters that are big like Venom, I think a lot of people have a lot of Venoms out there, but probably not that many because these actually still, regardless, were super hard to get. So, I mean, painfully hard to get. Yeah.
I mean, as far as full rainbow sets go, I don't really think there's more than like 5 or 6 of them out there. And that was just because towards the end, people went hardcore on the grind and just started knocking them out, trading PMGs and inserts just for stacks of base. And personally, I think that was a great move. They're going to be rare cards, and if you've ever had one of these rainbow foils in hand, it is just absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, they're stunning. I mean, they really can't be, it's hard to tell, but I mean, these things are beautiful. I made 2 of these luckily at the end when everything was crazy. So the really funny story is that when the set was about to sell out, there's this huge commotion that happens in the Facebook group at NCCW where everyone's, all right, we got 50 cases left, and everybody just loses their minds and runs to epack.
Dude, I'm pretty sure when it hit 99 cases, it was gone in 24 hours.
It was, yeah,
that's right. One of the fastest sellouts I've ever seen. And I personally know people that were just buying cases and cases when it got that low. So,
I mean, and people really haven't caught on to epack achievements yet. And, I'm excited for people when they do, and feel for them too, because so many are already gone and impossible to find. But that's going to be really fun to people realize, oh, wow, there's things that you don't even see because they're just not available often at all, and they just completely vanish. And epack achievements tend to be in that way. Yeah. So beautiful. So now we're going to get a little more complicated with the base.
Webfoils.
So
webfoils are the parallel for this. For the base set, they're 1 in every 3.5 packs, and there's 100 cards. So it is kind of like a little bit of. It's not that easy to put that set together. A full, 145 card webfoil set. It sold for up to about 550 on eBay before, which is absurd because for the most part, I used to buy these things for 15, 20 cents each on ComC, and I've probably got 4 sets sitting there on ComC right now. The only limiter really are Spidey and Venom.
Yeah, those are the only ones that end up being really hard, like everything else.
So much like, the base, there are parallels to this. You get 10 of these, and you get to make the silver web, which honestly, you can barely see a difference. You just kind of see it's a little bit shinier. And then we have the rainbow web foil. This honestly is probably, and this is just my opinion, But as we all know, my opinion is completely 100% like accurate and correct on this one. Anyone that disagrees with me is completely wrong. This is the most gorgeous card Yu-Gi-Oh's ever made. The rainbow web foil. Like it won't look that great on camera here, but just the rainbow on this with like the webbing going over it makes it look 3D, almost like those Marvel Beginnings holograms. And
Yes.
in hand, like this effect is just unreal.
It doesn't get much better. Like it was a slug to get through this. It was really hard just to get the spot one. It was an effing nightmare. And I have to admit, when I got it in hand, it was all worth it. And I had like a spreadsheet list. I had like a wanted poster of people that I was after. JD remembers.
So, this is a funny story. When I started on these rainbow web foils, like I went and was like, I kind of spread it throughout our little group, and we had several people chasing these at once. It was me, Norin, and I think 3 or 4 other people that actually managed to do these. And you know, like it sounds like cool parallel and like not that impressive, but when you actually run the numbers and see how many of each of these like web foils were done, like for the base set, there's like only like 700 something of each of them. So you divide that in half and you get like, let's just say 350 for the sake of argument. 350 of each card on epack, and you need 100 of them to make this rainbow web foil. Like only 3 of them max were possible. The set's sold out, so I don't think a single one of these cards has 3 of them. There are a couple with 2, and there are a lot with 1, but for the most part, these cards are unattainable at this point. And there are only 2 copies. Like
I'm sure only one person, and I'm assuming I know who it is, has that full set. There has to be only one person that has that set, and that's from my knowledge, because that person was a godsend for me when I was doing
there's
mine.
only one possible person, and that person, I agree, they are amazing. They helped me with mine too.
Lovely person, yeah.
Even though it would prevent them from finishing their set, but eventually returned the favor, gave some back, helped out.
Great guy. No, great person. Great experience doing this. It was probably, I think hands down, it's my favorite rainbow I've ever made, even past Surfer, because Surfer for MM16 was an effing nightmare, and this was way more fun doing a rainbow spot.
PNGs and like all the other like ridiculous stuff that I just have multiple copies of. The rainbow web foils, hands down, are the pride and joy of my PC. Like nothing else even comes close. Like I could have the full PMG rainbow, all 4 plates, and it'd still be like, but I have this.
Yeah, there's something really special about it. I can't. I always keep the spot rainbow collection in my Pelican case with my Surfer stuff, and it takes up a lot of room. But I'm just like, man, I just had too much fun having this set together, and like, it's just too important to me.
You had fun doing that? That was like 6 months of pure torture and hell for me to make my two. Like it was
bad.
Nightmare.
No, it was rough. I'm blanking that out and remembering the good times. But it was tough.
To it just because I literally went through hell for that card.
No, it was a lot. Yeah, I can only imagine for you, man. It's collecting. Those who have been in the hobby for a while absolutely know this, but collecting any female character at all is a nightmare. Like it is. I tried to do it I did do it, and I did complete it for Calypso. I got the Calypso rainbow, sold it to a good friend of mine who wanted an example of the rainbow for the set, unfortunately. And I got the plate, and I even got the plate from someone who was a hard ass on epack, even after all that, because I overtraded. And that was really fun. But I mean, that was a nightmare. I was like totally ruined by collecting Calypso, and she's not even like a high-end character. So I don't even know how you did it for Silk of all people.
Oh, dude,
like,
when I started Silk, like there were only 77 of the base web foils like on epack, so it wasn't even doable when I started.
Wow. That's the other thing that was
product to be opened.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that was difficult about the rainbow, is that when you go on epack, you can search by your character and you can see how many cards are actually there. So we can actually do that here, and I'll show you exactly what what John and I did. let me get this out of here. So, and basically, this is basically what I did. I just, you go to Spot, and what will happen is this character will come up here, right? And then you needed, it's impossible. See, so even by the numbers, it's impossible now because you need 100 of these to even get it, 10 of these to get it, type of thing. There's only 78 in the marketplace and only 2 of the silver.
Yep. So unless you can find people with stuff locked, and every single one of those accounts is active and eager to trade, that is not possible at this point anymore.
It is not happening.
And that's freaking Spot. Like, that's not even like a major character.
I mean, let's look at Venom, right? Like, let's go to the wall on this one. Even looking at Venom, I mean, look at that. So this is the regular rainbow. Let's look where the web is. So there's only 3 silvers and 80 of the web.
So technically, a second one of those could possibly be made.
Technically, and I would assume that this is locked away with sets, these silvers, judging by who they are. I don't want to out anybody.
Actually, that's another valid point. Towards the end of it, a lot of people were just trying to make the silver web sets, so that took a lot of things off market. I knew at least 3 people chasing, so that's like another 30 of each gone.
And a lot of people got into it because the set was sitting on epack for how many years? I mean, a while.
I mean, it sold out like what, earlier this year, or
was it earlier this year? Pandemics messed me up, so I have no idea on my time frame here.
Yeah, like it was either late 2020 or early 2021.
It was sitting.
Wait, I did look it up. My last packs that I bought were in February 2021.
So, and the funny thing was, it started selling out, and I'm going to take credit for this. I think it was all of us chasing those web rainbows that got everybody to like jump into that set one final time. I think that's what happened, because that's when like the commotion really started. We were all doing this. We all made it public, and then all of a sudden it kind of built up and it got really crazy. But there have been fans of this set since it's been shown. JD's been doing it since the moment it came out. And it's been interesting to do it.
Came out, but close.
But close. You were definitely before me on that set for sure. I'm pretty sure.
It was probably like early 2018 when I started chasing 2017 Fleer Spiderman. I actually didn't get on it on epacks until like almost early 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, my first set on epack was Fleer on the day it released around Thanksgiving.
Really? I had no idea. Wow.
I mean,
anyway,
I already
crazy.
been accumulating absurd amounts of Fleer Ultra like off of epack on ComC, but I mean, at that point, by the time I was on epack, I already had like the full rainbow for the.
You had the full rainbow.
Everything else.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so let's keep going down this list.
I've actually got 2 more parallels to this.
Yes.
We've got the gold web auto. This is the same as the Webfoil, but the the web pattern is gold instead, and you have a silver ink auto like by hand, like on the bottom. These are limited to 49, and ironically, I actually have the. I don't think you're gonna be able to see that number, but this is the 1 of 49 alpha copy.
Yes, nice work.
And here goes one of the plates. For me, plates on Fleer Ultra Spiderman are on par with like Masterpieces plates. The fact that you don't have like a massive border, like these are full art, like these things are gorgeous.
Beautiful pieces.
Thankfully, they don't have the same price point as Masterpieces ones, so that definitely makes me happy.
Yep. Yep. I don't think there are that many plates left around, right? I haven't seen many.
There's maybe 2 dozen left on ComC, but the PMG plates have definitely been going up in price a lot.
Yeah.
They used to be like $40 plates max. Now they're going for a couple $100 each. I think the Carnage PMG plate sold for around 770-ish a few weeks ago.
I was lucky. I got the Prowler because of you and our other friend who kind of said, was like, hey man, if you like Prowler, get Prowler. I was like, yeah, it's pretty cheap. Why not?
The only reason I didn't buy that one was because of you. Otherwise,
well, it's there if you want it. If you need it for anything, you can have it. I bought it so cheap. I just, you let me know if you ever want it.
Because of the price.
It's pretty too. I like that Prowler a lot.
Plates that like have been in a box that I don't even think I've seen in a couple of years.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Now they're nice plates, man. They're really nice plates. I mean, I think that's the first time PMG's had printing plates.
It definitely is. I actually don't even consider the 2020 X-Men plates PMG printing plates because, you know, base set, like PMG is more, it's not specific to PMGs. It covers way too many things.
I agree. Yeah, it's a shame because it took away, you know, PMGs are an insert. That's just a base variant PMG. So it feels, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, they're nice cards. They're pretty cards for people who collect them, but it's definitely a different feel, different set for sure. Okay, so we covered base, web. We figured out the rainbow situation. Now there's a couple of other things as well. So let me get the checklist back up here and we'll go down this list.
Mhm.
So like you said, we had Deadpool Across America.
All right. Let's just go ahead and cover all of these subsets like all at once.
Let's do it.
We've already been here for half an hour. I actually don't have any examples of all of these. I just didn't want to dig them up. But these are all just little between 10 and 12 card subsets. The legacy ones are Triptych, which, you know, is the 3-card puzzle horizontally. That's pretty awesome. Those are actually the least rare out of those. I think they come in 1 every 2 packs. You should get one. So these are actually the most common cards in the set. Even more common than actual base. Deadpool Across America is the new Carnage USA. It's a 10-card subset showing Deadpool going, you know, to different monuments. It was actually continued in 2018 Fleer Ultra Spiderman. It's one of my least favorites. Like, I'm just not a big Deadpool fan. I think Carnage definitely fit the Spider-Man theme better. They should have brought him back up or did some sort of separation anxiety thing with multiple different symbiotes. But if you look at the back of the Deadpool Across America cards, it's kind of like a postcard that he writes to, you know, Spidey. And in the original ones, Carnage USA, they were postcards that Carnage wrote to either Spidey, Shriek, or somebody else. I forget who the last person was. But
that's right. That's right.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think the rarity on these is 1 in about 5 packs. So they're not terribly rare. It's a fairly easy set to go through. At least for the base versions. So let's see. The next ones would probably be what? Milestones, I'm thinking.
Yep.
Milestones are 1 in 6 packs, so they are slightly more difficult. Again, this is an homage from the original Milestones from '95, and these kind of just cover, just, you know, events in the actual comic series, like, you know, the origin, when he got the black symbiote, just different things that happened, like the marriage between him and MJ, Death of Gwen Stacy is another popular one that pops up in all the sets as a milestone.
Yep.
So another one that's fairly easy to collect. Team-ups. Team-ups, anyone that has ever gone after a parallel set of team-ups will tell you how absolutely atrocious this one is. Team-ups are 1 in every 12 packs. So for every PMG you hit, you will only get 1 team-up. These are literally 1 per box hits.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. We have a buddy who collects Captain America. He finished, right? Was he able to finish?
He finished that day, I think. Like, I think he got like 40 of them in one day. It was just like,
he's scary. I don't even mess with him. I don't even know how he does it. It's just so impressive.
I remember people just going for the silver foil versions of these and giving up because it was that much of a chore. Like, some of these cards, you know, like, are still, you know, like $1 to $2 cards, but a couple of them are like in the $10 range per card.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're nice. They're beautiful cards too. The team-ups are very pretty.
Oh, really? I think that's one of the best Wolverine cards I've ever seen. And Wolverine is
Tom Fleming.
My least favorite Marvel character, period.
Really?
I hate Wolverine. He's just a little like angry, hairy dude with claws that probably smells bad.
Perna gonna come after you, man. I'd just damn, man. You just It's coming.
So
This is great.
with all of those, there is one thing that is common with all of them. The webfoil parallels on all of those is 1 per 18 packs. So that makes those rainbow webfoils a lot harder. Actually, I think that the hold on, let me check some numbers. Okay, no, every single one of those is 1 in 18 packs, even the legacy ones. So
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to make.
Damn, that looks good.
Agreed.
Looks great.
The Deadpool one from that was actually a nightmare for me. The
Really?
first time, like when I was starting out, just trying to make this set, I bought the Deadpool webfoil off ComC, had it shipped, got a base card, sent it back, bought another one, got another base card. And if you've seen the Deadpool, he's actually, held up like with webbing. So what's the webbing and what's the actual pattern? Like, I guess they had issues determining that. So on the third time, ComC got it right. They did, cover all the shipping and everything. And back then, like all these back and forths only took like a day or two instead of like waiting weeks for the new card to come.
There's no reason that should be messed up. This should be better organized. But yeah, it is very confusing, but still very beautiful card, actually. Yeah, I don't see this card very often at all, actually. Okay, so we have the webs. Yeah. So what next? What do we want to go to?
I mean, I guess I can keep going. Let's knock out the big one. Why not?
Let's knock out the big one. Perfect.
Precious metal gems.
Boom.
I mean, what do I need to say about them? Everybody knows that right now these are like the big cards. Back when I started though, like PMGs were considered trash. And everyone's like, why do you keep buying the same cards? It's just the same.
For 2017, for sure. Yeah.
So another interesting thing is every single Marvel PMG ever made is recycled art. There's no original art on PMG. The closest you can get to original art PMGs are Battle Spectra gems. And Fleer Ultra Spiderman, had a couple parallels with the PMGs. It was meant as an homage to the 1995 Marvel metal. So, the base are just metal. What sucks is the only thing that I don't like about these is the patterned background is similar on every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, the old metal ones, they would actually just, kind of, it was textured.
And they had the background. The background was
like they may have made all the background red on the red PMG, but you can still see the etched foil to make out the silhouette of all the old characters and stuff that were there. So that's the only thing that I think could really make this step up a little bit, but it's still my favorite PMG set because every single one of these cards has this rainbow effect on it. This is the pattern parallel, which takes 10 base to make. And this is not showing up very well on my camera, but
it's gorgeous in person.
Every PMG, every color has a tiny bit of this like multicolor like effect whenever you like tilt it in the light. Bronze does, the gold does, the greens do. The greens kind of go like a little yellowish. It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
But they're all amazing. So these patterns, although not true PMGs because it doesn't say PMG on it, these are stupid rare. It did take 10 of the base ones in order to make each one of these. And based off of the math, only 108 total sets were possible. No, 108 total possible. And that's assuming every single one was combined and nothing on a dead account or anything. I've actually been tracking these on ComC as well since early 2018 because this was the first PMG set that I actually wanted to finish.
Yeah.
I can't say this with any confidence or accuracy, but it looks like there are probably less than 70 sets or 70 of each of these patterns. So I would 100% put these more rare than reds, but not quite as rare as a blue.
Yeah, I think they're in that mid range. I think it depends on character. I think I think a lot of things are going to be interesting looking back at Marvel cards in the next 5 years and looking at what epack achievements was and combinables. I think a lot of people are going to realize that a lot of cards were missed and kind of lost because people didn't understand or take the time to kind of get a fix on what it actually meant to collect something that was
We're gonna go
combinable.
over a couple of those.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Let's rush through the rest
Love
of
it.
these. Bronze, 199. Red, out of 99. Actually, alpha red. So 1 out of 99.
Oh yeah, baby.
Blues for these were out of 49, and this is my favorite blue. Like, just the shade of it is just ridiculous. The 2018 blues aren't that nice, but again, no. 1 out of 49 alpha. Iconic ones everyone loves, greens, blah blah blah. Whatever. Christmas just passed, so I guess we can show that off. Again, 1 out of 10. So another alpha. 2017 was the first year to introduce purples, and they did purples right. These are limited out of 5, and they're just gorgeous.
They're stunning.
Not the alpha. Like, that's still stuck on epack, and the guy won't respond. So, and then we've got like whatever. I think
whatever. What is that? Bronze? No. What that looks?
This is
that gold?
Like I don't know, man. This is actually the first PNG that I bought. Ever.
You kept that? I don't know what's wrong with you, man.
I mean, it's got a little bit of sentimental value, so I figured why not. One thing though that does suck, it's got a massive printing line on it. I don't know if
it does not.
But a lot of 2017 PMGs have this. Look at the break in the way the light reflects. Do you see that line?
Oh, I see it
on the side.
Yes.
So that's the part of the sheet where the two foil layers met and it overlaps. So there's not an actual break in the foiling on the card. It only affects the rainbow effect. It kind of breaks there and starts over.
Still, I mean, 101s, man. You can't, you know what I mean? 101s are 101s at one point. So what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Especially that kind of stuff. I'm
gonna complain that I spent way too much money on a damaged card like that.
You say that, man, but when you bought it, it's definitely less what will ever be paid now for gold.
I've got no problem telling what I paid for that. I paid $230 for my gold-silk PMG, and not even 40 minutes later, I bought my green for $34.99 free shipping. This is why I think that the PMG market right now is just totally absurd. But back in the day, it made no sense to be able to buy a blue PMG for less than the cost of 1 pack when that's almost a case hit at that point.
I agree. It was pure insanity, to be honest.
All right, so we heard about my steal. Now let's hear about my worst trade.
Yes.
The Silk PMG plate. So I'd had the rainbow for almost 3 years at this point, and I was like, man, I've never even seen a plate come up. This thing came up on epack, and I shit you not, I traded an ass ton of jambalayas for it.
Worth it, man.
I gave 12 jambalayas up, including things like Miles, Gwen, Carnage, and other top characters. So it's like a $2,000 plate for me right now. But you know what? Zero regrets. The first one that I ever saw, jambalayas are replaceable. This was not.
No, you can't.
And, at the time, it was only maybe $300 worth of jambalayas for the plate. So,
I mean, so the jambalayas in Fleer Ultra Spiderman, right? Are those how rare are those? What are those in particular?
Okay, so jambalayas.
Drill.
An homage to 1997 Skybox insert.
Yes.
On the sports side, jambalayas are pretty coveted, even though they've got a lot of drama, with I think there was a Jordan hand-cut jambalaya from an uncut sheet that was sold and slapped by PSA. Not sure on that, but
wow.
Jambalayas suck as far as centering go, and the backs always have a lot of flaking on them. But there's some cool ass cards. I mean, like they're kind of lenticular. They got a little bit of that effect. The die cut, which you don't really see terribly often, and they're not that rare.
No, they're not.
These
They're
are
really not from that set.
Yeah, they're 1 in 72 packs, so you'll get 2 jambalayas per case. At 1,512.5 cases of Fleer Ultra Spiderman and 30 jambalayas, there are 100 of every copy of jambalaya. It's about as rare as a red PMG. When you're looking at the retro sets, like 2013 retro, from what I've read, those jambalayas are limited to 20 copies of each. So there are literally
20.
5 times
Wow.
more jambalayas in 2017. So I don't think we're ever going to see these newer jambalayas hit like these absurd prices. And I'm kind of glad they actually increased the number just because they're fun cards to have a couple of. Like, maybe not, like a full set.
Jambalayas, man.
For most people, but they're really cool cards, man.
They're beautiful cards. I like jambalayas a lot. I spent a lot of time before I got the Surfer Jambalaya from 2013. Like, I just could not. Like, it was back in the day, the price, I was like, nah, this is crazy. I'll see another one. And eventually had to pull the plug because I just never saw another one again. But once you get it in your hand, it's one of those cards where when you hit it, you're like, wow, this was like totally worth the case, the box, whatever it is. It just feels really significant, when you pull it. It's really a great card. Great design card, great history. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to look at.
Actually, since we just did jambalayas, let's go with Holoblast because those are also 172 hits and you get 2 per case.
That's right.
So
that's right.
This is not going to show up for anything like on my screen, but Holoblast are direct, homage to 95 again. 95 actually had 2 sets of Holoblasts. We had them in Fleer Ultra Spiderman and 95 Flare, which were arguably the very, very ugly ones. So the original ones, kind of look like this, thin stock. It doesn't really show up terribly well. One issue that I found with them is that the character on the top does start fading over time, especially like if they're red, because the ink.
Whoa.
That doesn't seem to be an issue with more modern releases and stuff, though. I actually had to go through, like, I think 9 full copies of the 95 Holoblast set before I found a cartridge and Dr. Octopus that I was happy with.
Wow.
So the Fleer Ultra Spiderman ones are the same, but they're on thicker stock. The hologram is so much cleaner looking. It's nicer. These are silver nitrate holograms. So the way that these are made is by layering silver nitrate and UV resin with different plates, and they just, they stack it up like that. So it gives it a little bit of depth. So these are actually kind of like just microscopic shadow boxes done with resin and silver.
Stunning. Just stunning pieces.
Yeah, they have the same pull rate as a jambalaya, where you will get 1 per inner, so about 1 in 72 packs or 2 per case. But due to the print run with jambalayas the set size with jambalayas being 30 and holoblasts being 21, these are more of, I think there's 144 copies of each of these, roughly. And keep in mind, I'm estimating with these numbers, I put my margin of error like 5%-ish. So
yeah,
give or take.
I mean, these are the best numbers I've ever heard of. So just for everybody, the only anybody who I bring on my channel, I trust implicitly. So I believe JD's numbers.
Okay, you know what? I'll be honest. I believe my numbers are just accurate as hell. Like, I believe my margin of error is a lot smaller than that. I'm just saying this to save face in case, like.
Someone comes at you,
did mess up something, or UD is like, no, we actually made more of these and insert extras.
Oh, damn it.
For the most part, my numbers are done based off of 1 PMG per box to figure out the full print run, and then 1,512.5 cases being the total.
I mean, it's good to know these numbers too, especially with people, investing in these these collections. It's good to have an idea of this stuff so you feel prepared and feel comfortable with what you have, and it's a good thing to know. Very good thing to know. Okay, beautiful. So we have those holograms. You know, man, I love those so much. I wish they had done a spot one. I love holograms so much.
Oh man, that would have been
Okay.
so cool with all the holes and there's like just different limbs popping out in like different spots. Oh,
I wish, man. It took, I think the hardest spot card to get other than the Web Rainbow was finding a Pexi with spot on it. Like that was the toughest because I didn't think there would be one. And this just showed up randomly.
I didn't think there would be either. I mean, there's less than 200 of those. And
Andrew Lopez, you made this rainbow possible. This is because of you.
Like the fact that 1 out of 200 actually has a spot on it, just that's baffling to me.
Stupid luck. Stupid lucky.
Okay, so, there's actually one thing that I want to kind of go back on a little bit, like since I passed PMG and stuff. This card. So this card looks kind of like mediocre. This is the MM00 or MM0 achievement for the medals. On epack, if you got all 50 of the base medals, you could redeem them and get this. You know, which with all the people making patterns, it's like, man, why isn't the market flooded with this? This used to be a $6 card on ComC, and the last sale that I saw on this was about $175. So I told you I started epack in like 2019-ish. By the time I started, this was not redeemable at all, period. Like, I couldn't even get one of these. I had to trade for it or buy it.
Whoa.
So apparently this was a really, really short release, like, achievement.
Wow.
And, like, all the people making the pattern sets, that was, like, late 2020, like, early 2021. Like, this was really late in the game. People weren't even able to, you know, use those 10 copies of the base set to redeem 10 copies of this. Like, it was gone by that point. Although there may have been a slight period where there was a bug where you could actually redeem the card. You had to do some other very convoluted things in order to do that, which I'm not going to cover. It was actually a really easy thing, but like the stars had to align, like with a certain thing happening on epack for you to be able to do that and claim this card.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Wow. I think it's one of the prettiest Black Suit Spider-Man cards I've ever seen. Actually, I've always thought that card was nice.
This card's just been like a nightmare for me. I was trying to find the original art for a lot of the PMGs and stuff. I think in the Facebook groups we have someone doing that for 2020, but this is not in a comic that I can find. This is a giant wall decal that they sell at Target or have printed on blankets. This is just like generic art used to license out for Marvel products. I can't find it in a comic anywhere, and most of the other ones have been fairly easy.
Fascinating. So are most of them covers or are most of them splash pages? Because the back of the sketch card, I did a poster, like an on sale now poster. Remember the old ones that were vertical and really skinny? I did one for Fleer Ultra Spiderman. Yeah, I really love it. I haven't like printed it yet, but it's kind of like the background of the video that we have now. But the background of the sketch card has that image there, and it's an interior of a page, which is pretty cool. It took me forever to find it.
It's also part of retro.
Part of retro. That's right. Love this. Love this. Love this.
With the PMGs, a lot are internal like pages. Some are covers. Like I know the Carnage one is like a cover, but Carnage only takes up like 5% of that cover. He's tiny compared to the rest of the characters.
Wow.
I know the Scorpion, on the other hand, is an internal page, and that's actually not normal Scorpion. That's a Venomized Scorpion. That explains like his weird teeth and like the black.
Yeah.
He's actually got the Venom symbiote on.
That's sick. That's so sick. There's a lot of different variations in characters, especially with these cards. And, you know, real comic book people, comic book fans, fans of Marvel cards will be able to see these differences. It's pretty cool to spot them. Pretty awesome as well. So what are we missing from the checklist?
12 comic books my entire life. Am I still a fan?
You are a fan if you claim yourself as a fan. There's no judgment here whatsoever.
I mean, I judge people all the time, but I'll take it.
Privately, we judge people. Here, this is.
I have no shame.
I have no shame. No shame, sir. So tell me about the Ambers.
Okay, so Ambers. Honestly, I love. Sorry, I love the Ambers. I'm a sucker for anything acetate. Like they make me
Same.
happy. Um, I know this is going to be a bit of a stretch, but I always assumed they based the Ambers off of the original Clear Chromes. These were the original like Fleer Ultra acetate cards, and Clear, they've got like that weird back with like, I
Yeah.
guess you can see some of like the paper printing and stuff on that.
Marvel versus DC has a similar thing too.
Like,
yeah, that's clever.
I mean,
Yeah, it looks really
I'm gonna
close.
go ahead and flex a little bit just because I can right now.
Flex, sir.
This version of it, like that, nobody like literally has. There's like 3 people.
That's special. I've seen those. Those are really special.
So the silverback is actually what makes this a chrome card. So if you've seen any chrome cards, it's just top layer acetate, silver, and then paper. Like,
yep,
the exact same thing. They just change what the background on that is. Okay, so Ambers, they're considered some of the ugliest cards in the set by the majority of people. The base ones are 275, and the character list is very weak. There are only a couple big characters like Deadpool, Spidey, Venom. But then you've also got things like Jackpot, Tinkerer,
Hammerhead.
Exactly, Kane. Honestly, I think Kane's kind of cool, but
you don't see Kane often, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not the strongest checklist, but at 175 each, like they're more rare than a bronze PNG, and they're fun cards to pick up at a decent price.
Yeah.
Where they got nuts was when they made the parallels for these. You go from 175 down to 15, and then down to 5. I actually don't have any of the Cityscape, which are to 15, or the Full Color, which are to 5. Those just went like way out of my price range for wanting to like collect the entire set. And,
yeah,
they're gorgeous though. Like they are next level.
Really pretty.
A base amber versus a full color or a Cityscape, you could be like, "What is this trash? 175."
No, it's true. Like it's a world of difference between them. I mean, especially when you see them, they're really nice. The color on them is really bright, really full. It's really vibrant. They're very nice, very, very nice. I always debate picking like one up, but I just have to stay so focused. Otherwise, I won't have any money. But they are beautiful cards.
For me, like the base amber, like I love them. It's got like that sepia old school photo kind of like feel to it. When you put them in a binder, it's just like, man, I'm really enjoying just flipping through these.
Are they just as thick as the Pexi sketchies?
These are paper thin, actually. Like these are 20 point or just standard cardstock. Like,
wow, I did not know that. That's crazy. I've never seen one in hand. I only see pictures of it, so I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah.
They get that kind of effect on such a thin piece. That's really nice.
I mean, it's just literally tinted acetate, and then like the character is just like a sticker that they put on there. So
I see it now.
It's like an overlay.
I gotcha. Nice pieces. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, what do we have left? We have buybacks, which everybody knows buybacks at this point, hopefully. Those were limited out of 30?
For some of them, yes. Others,
that's right, for 95.
29. And I have no confirmation, but I've heard that the reason for this being that when they did the buybacks, like a couple of them were so damaged or got messed up, like that they couldn't actually use them. So they stamped them with 29 instead. The buyback set for Fleer Ultra Spiderman is what got me back into collecting. Like, it's like Fleer Ultra Spiderman. Cool. The only thing that irks me about the buyback set is that the checklist, there's no buyback for it. Like, you cannot get a buyback checklist, and I'm just like, what the hell? It's like one of the biggest cards that I wanted, but cool.
They started. I think they did they did a checklist for metal, right? For metal buyback, didn't they? Yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. That's really good. That was good that they did that.
So here's the full buyback set. all 149 cards. I actually finished it a few weeks ago. I've been doing
Oh,
this like
that's right.
ever since like I started collecting again in 2017. So I've gone through hundreds and hundreds of buybacks. I've got stacks of doubles. I've got like 7 copies of certain cards. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to trade into the alphas. Like I'll replace and upgrade, and like give some bonus on top. But in the stack of 149, I think I have 22 alpha serial numbers so far.
That's insane. That's next level, man. That's a lot. Wow.
I mean, I know some other people that have finished the set, and they were willing to trade me the alphas for replacements and to help them finish. So it worked out, but I still got a long way to go. I think my goal is to get 50. I think anything more than that's completely unreasonable and unattainable. If the opportunity comes,
Completely.
I don't care.
I feel like that conversation, I've been having that conversation more and more with you guys in Collector Club, is just like, what is unreasonable to want at this point, right? Because there's not a lot of Marvel cards out there. People are kind of confused. There's really not that much out there. And a lot of us who've been here since the word go have, collected at a serious rate. But yeah, there is definitely a thing now where it's like, what is reasonable to ask for and desire at this point? Yeah, and what's unreasonable? I love that.
I think all of it's reasonable. Like if I can attain it, like go for it.
If I can go for it, Evan, I'll do it. I love it. Beautiful. Yeah, the buyback set, man. I don't know, man. That particular set too, arguably, is one of the prettiest sets art-wise. Just right on top with 1996 Marvel Masterpieces. I don't think people realize that, but it really is. I have, man, when I was growing up as a kid, my favorite card from that set was the Prowler. And I got the buyback of that. I'm so happy I did. And then Blood Rose. I don't know what it was about Blood Rose hanging on the fence with the guns, but in my head as a kid, I was like, yo, that's dope. And so I have that buyback as well.
For me, the big ones were Cold Heart and Cardiac. I thought they looked really cool.
Damn. That's right. Those are good, man. Those are really good.
Chased 2017 Cold Heart as well. I didn't finish the Rainbow Webfoil though.
But, and there's no way of doing it on there now?
I'm not saying there's no way of me getting one, but I'm saying it's not very likely.
Oh man, I'm waiting for a person to unlock something soon enough. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's finish this up because I've taken an hour of your morning now. I'm so sorry.
I made no plans today. Like I knew this was going to happen. So.
Good.
And all right, so like only a couple stacks left. So
beautiful. Let's do it. What you got there?
EX Sentry. All right.
Oh God, I love these.
EX Sentry are great. They're acetates, clear cards with a little bit of cardboard glued onto them, laid over in a little die cut thing. So again, this is another basketball homage. What they did was they do, your base set, and then they would do a then and now set. They are red or purple, and they've got weird numbering. Like this is the one that confuses everybody. Like this is what I get the most questions about. So the way that the numbering works is when you go with, let's say the purple one. The purple one is EX23, so it's card number 23. So what you would do is you would take the total number of cards in the set, which is 42, add 1, and then subtract whatever the card number is. So 42 plus 1 is 43, minus 23 is 20, and this is limited to 20.
I love that.
With the reds, it's the exact opposite. This one is EX23, so it's limited to number 23. EX1 would only have 1 copy, which would be the Venom. Venom red is going to be a 1 of 1. Spider-Man purple is going to be a 1 of 1.
I love this set. This is one of my favorites. I actually have the rainbow for Prowler for the EX Sentry. Yeah, I have the purple and the red, and I have the base. I couldn't help myself. It was sitting on ComC for the longest time, and I got a little bit of money from something I forgot, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy it because they're just so pretty, and I love that there's foiling on the arches that are there.
Oh yeah,
They're-
the holographic rainbow effect that they added to that is just
and it's vibrant, like it's super.
icing on the cake right there.
It really is. I think I mean, it's not the first time they did X Century, is it? Is that the first time they brought X Century to Marvel? No.
EX Century had a 12 card subset in 2015 retro, but it covered a lot of like weird characters like Goom, Orgo, Werewolf at Midnight, like Dracula.
Yeah.
Like it was a little like out of place, but
Yeah.
it was still pretty cool looking.
It's very cool. It's actually very cool. Our buddy who collects the monsters, probably. I wonder if he's ever gotten into that. I'm sure he has.
He has. I told him about those a while ago. I think
they're beautiful cards.
But so the first time I ever actually figured out or found out about EX Century was on Blowout forums. It was a thread about the basketball EX Century and like the weird numbering and stuff, and how people were like, yeah, the Grant Hill 1/1's never shown up. Like nobody knows where it is. Like it's been decades and nobody's been able to track it. It's probably like $100,000 card by now.
Wow.
I'm just like, man, that's a pretty cool thing. So, I keep reading the thread. Like at this point, it's already, like a couple weeks old. Like, keep reading the thread, and all of a sudden see this one guy go, you talking about this Grant Hill card? And he posts the 1/1 Grant Hill just out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, the drama in this thread. Like, I'm so glad I kept reading this.
The drama.
Absurd.
That's insane. I didn't know about this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was the story I was waiting to tell for this. Just
this very moment. This is it.
It doesn't get any more interesting than this. Like everything else is downhill from here. Everything I have to say.
It's downhill from here. That's an amazing story. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
All right, I think I've got 3 stacks left. So let's move on to coins, which I don't have an example of.
Coins. Let me see if I can find.
Nobody likes coins. Like, does anybody here actually like cards?
I'm not a fan of coins. I know they're cool, and I don't want to talk too much crap because I know our buddy Ian Taylor, Black Hat Collectors, is a huge fan of them. But I just cannot, for the life of me, get into it too much.
I'll be honest. I think they're kind of cool. Like at least for certain issues. Like I haven't gone for the entire sets. I've just picked up like 1 or 2 examples of like the base ones and 1 or 2 of the other. That's the one that I really want. Like I want the AF-15 one, but it's probably not gonna happen. Like, yeah,
that's a shame. Sorry, I didn't mean to show it and traumatize you further.
That's fine.
I mean, they look cool, man. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just me, but I'm sure if there was a Surfer one, I'd be way more interested.
I think the design's cool. I think the Doctor Strange coins looked a little bit better, and they had those 1/1 Stanley autos. So
yes,
next level.
Probably the last Stanley auto. Probably one of the last Stanley autos to ever exist now. But yeah, they had auto ones here too.
Yeah, and like the list is all right, but there's just nothing that was like too stand out to me. But again, I'm not very familiar with comic book artists unless they're like super big current names. So that could just be my shortcoming. I'm not finding anything good there.
But, I think people will get into it. People will understand this soon enough and all that stuff. So they are stickers, just so people know, and they're very nice placement. They're good looking cards. They're thick cards too, right? They're like 100 point. From my memory,
I think so. I've never like mine are all sitting on CompC. I've never shipped them home. Like those are the lowest priority thing for me to ship.
Lowest priority.
They've sat there through like 7 different like orders. I'm just like, do I really want to get these, or just wait until I've got the rest of the set? Maybe
uncheck.
Remove from shipment.
Remove from shipping, please.
The weird thing about these though is that base or auto. Doesn't matter. It's still a 1 in 600 pack pull.
Wow, no difference whatsoever. That's nuts.
No difference between auto and base, and based off of the math on the way these things are, it's looking like what 25 of each of these, or is it 15?
I think 25 for each.
Okay, so around 14.8-ish of each.
That's crazy.
But I'm not sure if they're all like, printed the same. Like maybe with the artist autos, or something, or like, due to scarcity of like maybe coins for that particular year, some of them might be shorter and longer printed than others.
And these were both released in the physical release as well as the epack release.
Yes, they were.
That's crazy. So many people I talk to, they always ask me, I was like, man, I don't see any on epack. I was like, yeah, because there's not epack alone. It was physical and epack, half the product. Well, perceived. We perceive it's half.
If it's split evenly, there's probably only 7 or 8 of each on epack, and then you got people that traded and like put the sets together. Like, this is the biggest sleeper in this set, in my opinion. Like, nobody realizes how rare they are, but even if they are rare, they're still going to be sleepers because not that many people are going to like them.
Yeah,
rarity.
It definitely, yeah. There's definitely some kind of triangle diagram we're going to have to make up and put somewhere of like rarity meets popularity meets whatever artwork.
Rare,
you know what I mean? There has to be some balance.
Nice looking. Rare, expensive,
nice looking.
Pick 2.
Pick 2. Only 2. I love it. So we have the coins. So I'm assuming what we're going to now is the comic cuts.
Yeah, comic cuts are a good one to go to.
Yeah.
So single comic cuts are 1 in 160 packs, while the dual comic cuts are 1 in 1,200 packs. So the way this works out, and this one I'm actually going to have to check my spreadsheet for because I don't know it off the top of my head.
You were doing this all in your head before?
I've memorized this. I've gone over this so many times. Like,
you're a beast.
Okay, no, I do know that one. Okay, so single comic cuts are on average around /55. While dual comic cuts on average are, and I want to get the decimal point on this, so 7.26 each. But here's the thing. You can't get 7 from every single issue. Some issues, like, the way that they use destroyed ones, some of these issues have 10 copies, like, let's say Secret Wars 8 on epack and ComC combined have more than 7 copies of the dual cut. So, like, there are definitely some that are like shorter and longer printed. And just for some examples of like some of my favorite cuts.
Please, because your cut collection is next level.
Recently, Arachne over Absorbing.
Oh.
My thing is, I like the cuts to like not have any text on them, just full character, something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Pride and joy, though.
Oh, I'm excited.
ASM 700 cuts. ASM 700, I didn't really like the issue, like the look of it, but there's a mini comic in the beginning of it that has this wild art style. Like,
I love this one.
I've gotten 3 different versions of this. Like, I've got 4 cuts from this like mini comic. I didn't actually pull all of them, so this is the best single one, and courtesy of Ian Taylor, thank you.
Yeah, Ian.
Here is my duel with the same art style. So, pride and joy in my cut collection. Like, I do have the entire, like single cut. I've only got like 5 or 6 of the duels, but I'm pretty sure I got the best dual Carnage too, like in existence.
Oh, that's so cool. Look at Carnage.
This one cost me more than I want to admit,
but comic cuts, man. I'm a big believer in comic cuts. I really am. I love them so much.
Yeah, but most comic cuts are like $30, $40. Dual cuts
That's
are
true.
$100. That Carnage cost me over $200.
Really?
I thought it was worth it though.
I think it's worth it. I would have paid that, honestly. I have paid stuff like that.
Okay, let's see. Next thing, and I think we've only really got 2 more things to cover.
Wow, awesome.
Okay, the Royal Foils.
Oh gosh,
honestly,
these are pretty amazing.
I think these are some of the most underrated cards in the set. Although if you look at the prices, they are starting to catch up with Miles, Venom, Spidey all hitting like 200 plus. I will admit I may have purchased a base /99 and 25 Venom, both of those together for about $600, and I thought that was a steal because I've
That's
seen the Venom.
amazing.
Well, the Venom, like at auction, like the base one went for like 150, 170 or something, like the same day I bought things, which was lower than the last sale of 275. But I mean, people are picking those things up, and I'm
I
only
like the
missing
royal
one
foils
from
quite a
this set,
bit.
so.
Yeah, I think royal foils have a really bright future. Hopefully, it's a set that comes back. Oh, let me get this checklist off the screen so we see that
They did
beauty.
bring royal foils back. It's an Ant-Man and Wasp.
Killer. I didn't even
The
realize.
die-cut royal foils.
Damn,
So
that's cool.
this is the base 99 pattern one. You can see that there's like some weird little spider pattern in the background.
I love that.
These are the common ones. They're not that bad. This is the 25 pattern. It's pattern 2, which has got some triangles. In my opinion, this is kind of the lamest one. Like, I prefer the spider pattern to the triangles. I feel like it's got more going on. I think they actually should have swapped the numbering for these two.
Got it.
That, though. And this is pattern 3. This is the one that's out of 10. It's got webbing like all over the background, bunch of Spidey heads, like weird images and stuff going on. Actually, I think that's full body Spidey on there. So
yeah, I think it's a full body Spidey. It looks like it.
Like these are really cool. Like I love these. I wish I could have went for the entire set. I've only got 2 of the 10s. Well, actually, no. Technically, I have 3, but only one.
Silk is beautiful in this, by the way. Like she looks great. Stunning.
It's actually from the Spiderfly Effect comic. I think Spiderfly Effect number 2 or 3.
Wow.
And she's standing next to Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man on that cover was the Marvel Annual 2016 High Series Spidey base card.
Okay. I gotta look back. Love that silk though, man. Damn.
Okay, so the Royal Foils are the only cards in Fleer Ultra Spiderman 2017 that I found that have errors.
Really? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun for people.
We covered this. This is the 25 pattern, right?
Right. Oh, look at the heads in there.
What?
Sorry, I saw Spidey's head in the pattern.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the triangles do have.
They have that. Okay, cool.
Okay. So obviously, this is supposed to be the 25 pattern. Like,
right.
Flip this one around. That is out of 99.
What? Wow.
70 and 99.
So
that's a crazy error. Probably about 7 or 8 characters that I've seen that have the error on the /25. And I've only seen 2 characters that have the error on the /10 pattern, but it's numbered to 99. So for the /10 pattern, the only ones that I've seen are Deadpool and Deathlock. So somewhere out there is a /10 pattern Deadpool that's numbered to 99. It's an error card. So if any of you guys are avid Deadpool collectors, that's definitely something to put on the list. Deadpool also has a 25 error, which I actually personally own, but
nice.
I don't know if y'all get that one.
I don't know if you all can get that one. That's crazy. I remember you telling me about these errors. I thought they were so. I think the conversation was either you or somebody else who was like, "Look what no one noticed." And they flipped the card, and it was the error or something like that. I forgot. It was a long time ago now.
People brought it up like on epacks around like I think earlier this year, around when it was selling out.
Yeah.
And like I was trying to get some of the silks, but like at that point I already had like the /10 Deathlock and like /25 Deathlock and like a couple other errors for like 3 years. Like it was actually the first thing that I noticed when I was buying them on ComC, and I went and scrolled through and bought every single error I could find.
That's awesome. God, yeah, remember to flip those cards on ComC, people. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I had 2 copies of the /10 Deathlock error and 2 copies of the 25. But one of our mutual friends is a big Deathlock fan, so I let him have my doubles of both of those. at cost.
Deathlock is awesome, dude. I grew up. One of my action figures when I was a kid that I played with constantly with my surfer was a Deathlock. Like he was my main villain. I don't know why, but like his brain would lift in the action figure, right? Like it would show. Yeah, it was weird. It's a cool toy. I'll have to show it to you, but it's very, very cool, man. The Deathlock. I think my favorite Deathlock I've seen was MM18, the Bianchi one.
Oh yeah,
That's like beautiful card, beautiful artwork.
I'm
That's
trying
a
to think
good
of
one.
the other one. Is it Fleer Ultra Spiderman based team ups one that looks good?
I think
there's
it
one
is. Yes,
one made by Tom Fleming that I think looks just next level.
Tom's great, man. Tom's just awesome. Tom is just like super cool. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It is the team ups. I'm looking for it now, or milestone something. Or maybe it's legacy. No, I have to look it up. But yeah,
I think
there
it's
is.
team
There
up
is
base.
a.
I think it might be base.
It might be base. We'll find it. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful card.
All right, now down to the last thing. I saved this for last specifically because I wanted to clear up a little bit of terminology that I take issue with on these.
Love it.
So these are the manufactured webbings from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. Obviously, you know, like there's a window, there's shadow boxes, and they're hit or miss. You're either going to love it or you're going to absolutely hate it.
I love them. I don't care what people say. I know they say it looks like Twister candy in the middle of it. Like I don't give a crap. I think they're awesome, man.
Look at how thick these are. This is a 25 card clamshell because you can't get a magnetic or top loader thick enough for these. Like this
They're
is
gorgeous
from ComC.
That's how they ship them. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's the only reason like my entire stack is in these things. So the Spider-Man, I forget how many different ones there are. I guess it doesn't really matter because nobody likes them anyways. But Spidey's
Which is weird.
Yeah, Spidey's are limited to 49.
Yeah, and they're different picture variants. I've seen like 2 or 3. I think I've seen 3.
Yeah, I think there's like 15 of the Spideys, maybe 10 Venoms and 7 Carnages, something like that.
Wow,
it works out to the numbers being like
that. Interesting.
But these look like Q-tip sticks to me.
Yeah, that's the other thing I hear people say.
Off of a Q-tip. This is what you have left, and they literally put this in a card. Q-tip sticks. So, Spidey is just, you know, the regular relic. Venom, on the other hand, same thing, but they're black.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to call these Twizzlers.
Twizzlers, not Twisters. Twizzlers, that's it.
What the hell Twizzler are you guys eating that is black?
No, They had a variant, Halloween variant that was darker color from when I was a kid, and I'm a fat person.
Now, like, you know, just enjoying a life in anguish and hell for inventing any sort of licorice flavored candy. But these are not your standard Twizzlers. When you hear Twizzler, you think red. Please refrain from calling these Twizzlers.
I don't know. I feel very strongly about this. I feel like we disagree.
Like, I will literally fantasize about going and assaulting you physically if you call this one a Twizzler. There is nothing about this one that looks like a Twizzler, period.
Mystery flavor Twizzlers. You've never had those? I don't know what's wrong with you. You're the only person who believes
drop
that.
Your Twizzler in like bleach or something. Like,
who doesn't like a Twizzler with bleach? You're judging so many people right now. No, yeah, they do look like Q-tips. They do look like Q-tips. Yeah, they do. No, I remember you saying that. It was pretty dead on. Yeah. Yeah.
If I've offended you, if you are watching this video right now and I've offended you by saying that you're an idiot for calling this particular card a Twizzler, thank you for letting me know. I actually enjoy your pain.
This channel does not endorse pain.
But these are the ones that, you know, like this is the iconic Twizzler.
I love that. Yeah.
The Venom is out of 25. The Carnage is out of 10. Putting this set together is a nightmare. I've only managed to get 2. I had to trade absurdly high for both of these, actually. Yeah. I had a third, and I regret selling it. I got an absurd amount of money for it, but I wish I still had a card.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You don't see them often, and when you do, people are really divided on those pretty hard. So they don't. They usually sell to that one person who's like really about it. But yeah, they're pretty, man. I think they're nice looking cards, man. I saw one in hand. Was I shipping to Ian? Something like that. It came here. I was shipping over across the seas, and I saw, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty fun. You know, kind of cool.
Yeah, I've been considering, finishing up the Venom subset. Maybe finishing the Spidey. Maybe rehoming this one since it's the 1 out of 49 to an actual.
Oh, nice.
That's
cool. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy.
I've actually been holding it for a friend, but I think they keep forgetting that I have it. So, I think I've reminded them like twice. But, it'll be here forever for it if they ever want
it. If they ever need it. I love it. Well, this is awesome. I think that concludes the entire overview of this set.
I forgot the first card ever released. NSU, Non-Sports Update, has a promo card for Fleer Ultra Spiderman. You don't really see promo cards for a lot of these newer sets that often. I think 2016 Marvel Masterpieces had them, but for anyone that's a big promo collector, I would highly suggest, maybe grabbing one of those. Magazines aren't really the big thing right now, so I literally think for most of us in the hobby, that card is what sold the magazine for us. I do know that, there are a couple of them left on ComC right now at about $10 each. I don't think it's going to be like some sort of like massive, big money card or anything, but if it's something you're interested in, just go ahead, head over to ComC, pick one of those up really quick. It's not my account. I'm not related to them. I am not trying to have someone else
endorse anyone.
$10 each, honestly, that's about what they've been selling for since it came out. So grab it while
Let
you
me
can.
find a picture for it for people.
It's basically the or it's basically like card number 1, the iconic Spidey by, I think it was Ray Lago. But instead of foil, it's just got red text on it. It says NSU on the back. It's not the most interesting card, but for an actual avid set collector, it's kind of like,
it's key.
Must-have niche thing.
Yeah, it's key for sure. And when you're ever doing those magazines and those promo cards, just be sure to I'll have to look for it later on because it's not coming up. If you're ever looking for those 1990, 94 Fleer Ultra Spiderman. There's tons of these magazines, preview magazines, right, where they have these 4 either a 9-page or a 4-card up uncut sheet, and they're lodged in there. The Silver Surfer Prism had a special card for the promo that had most of the Prism foiling on it, and then the regular card, it was inserted in magazines. And a lot of people don't realize how special those cards are. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Very definitely check out those pieces. If you look at cards across different sets, because Marvel is still really young, you will see that a lot of promo cards end up later on becoming kind of pivotal to a lot of collectors. And the reason we suggest to go get them is not FOMO or anything like that. It's that if you are a true collector and you oversaw it, better to grab it now than to get tortured by it and never getting it later when it's out of a reasonable price range, I should say.
The thing is, with a lot of these promos too, even if you're going for the 90s promos, the value hasn't increased that much. You might be paying 50% more now than you would have I don't know, a decade ago, but
yeah,
good luck finding it nowadays.
The
issue is not the price; it's actually finding it available. And the fact that these are on ComC, even though they weren't pulled off of epack, means somebody had to have bought a bunch of magazines and sent them in. So I don't see these things pop up on eBay terribly often, but there's been a surplus of them on ComC for a while, so.
Yeah, something to check out.
That number is down to 5-ish or so last I checked last night.
Let me get it. I'm actually going to get a picture of this. So in the search thing, let me share a screen because it's worth people seeing it because it might be hard to find for people because I can't find it. And I'd like to take a look, to be honest.
Okay, when we get to the Fleer Ultra Spiderman set, yeah, just click on Venom right now.
This guy?
Yeah, just click on any one of those cards, and you can click on something to take you back to the. Or never mind. Okay, now up at the top, click that. Right below, come see where it says, yeah, that. Sorry, this is how I can get through like the easy thing. And
You're
then
good.
Scroll straight down to where it says Fleer Ultra Spiderman and click on that. It's going to be the drop-down menu, second to last. Yeah. And this will take you back to all the Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. Now go down to where it says promos, and it should have parentheses in number 2.
Bada bing.
And how many are left?
So 5, and 1 is noted, but that's probably because there's damage on that.
Yep.
So, and there's 5
So
of them.
5 at $10 each.
All from the same person who foresaw how to put them in there. They're gorgeous too. Are they 35 point? Yeah, right.
Honestly, I don't know. I've never had one in hand. Like mine's still sitting on
Constant.
I bought mine like 2 years ago or whatever.
Oh, that's smart.
Like
yeah. They're nice pieces. There's some good quality ones too, you know, so check the quality, check it out. But yeah, it looks good. I love that. That's a non-sport update right there is the key factor. Amazing Fantasy on the background. Very cool. Very cool. Well, you're a rock star, man. This is amazing. This is more than what I've ever hoped for these Marvel set spotlights. This is going to happen more often.
I could have went like another 3 hours in depth on this, like with so much more stuff, but
we can definitely do a part 2 whenever you want, man. I am down for that. We'll do something else for sure because there's other sets you're an expert on, and so JD will be back. Marvel.Silk.Collector. You can find him on Instagram, on Facebook. A huge pivotal pillar for this hobby is my friend here. Just a rock star. If you've enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. We've enjoyed this. It's a blast. I'm so glad we went over this set. So many of these details are just hard to come by because a lot of times these are not something you can just look at a checklist. It takes experience, and hopefully that's what we offered you here. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a lovely day, and catch you later.
Bye.